peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Viewers, those listening to this tape or this video, I want to bring to your attention that the politics of proxy wars in Africa is becoming real, and it has become a reality. I want to bring to this the attention of the African states that time and time again we have fallen victims of proxy wars. We fight wars that are not ours. We fall in conflicts that are not supposed to be, don't help Africa, and they don't help our countries at all. The proxy war that is in East and Central and the Horn of Africa has been ignited, supported, equipped by France. It has been very real that the French government, quietly through its company called Total Oil, has been searching for resources around the triangle of East and Central Africa and the Great Lakes region and the Horn of Africa. The LAPSET was one of them, which could have been a landmark project for the people of France. They withdrew from it. The Tanga to Mwanza, they made it, they withdrew from it. The search for oil and resources through Total Oil has brought us the dangers of a proxy war in the region. It is therefore very prudent for people of the region to understand the dynamics that we are going through. For example, in Rwanda and the Burundi conflict, there is a proxy war. We are fighting a proxy country. It has brought us to a war between the two countries, between Uganda and Rwanda and Burundi. There is a proxy war in Congo who is sponsoring a resurgence of rebels that are fighting President Tshisekedi because he was not supported by countries that we know very well. This type of strategy has happened in North Africa, where Libya has been reduced to rebels, where each faction, even the government supported by United Nations, is being bombarded by a rebel called Khalifa Haftar, who is funded by countries that we know. The question of Somalia and the Kenyan maritime presents a challenge, a test case for Africa and East Africa to stand firm and denounce the actions of countries that bring proxy wars and proxy politics in our region. It is therefore my humble submission that for this conflict, for this to end, we must do enough publicity, advocacy around the area to tell and explain to the international community why this problem is going to create an imbalance in the peace in the region, and the regional peace will be affected. It is therefore my humble submission that as a Ugandan whose troops, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers of other many millions Ugandans who are in Somalia, condemn any action by the Somali government to try to resolve issues that should have been resolved amicably as Africans within the African confines. I submit therefore that some of us will go a mile further to do now, from now onwards, to expose, to show the challenges of these countries that make us fight a proxy war in Africa. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.
Afternoon to you. Welcome to Diaspora Dispatches, where we get to look at the news making headlines across Africa and other stories also that we should bring to our international viewers. We know that all our African brothers and sisters, we are across the world. So thank you so much for joining us today. And with me is Dr. David Matsanga, who will be with us from the Political Command Center. Doctor, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miriam. Thank you very much. I've persevered here, but you have to apologize to our viewers that we got a power cut.
Yes, I know they were fixing something, yes, but everything is okay now. And so, Doctor, yes, so we shall look at just countries, country by country. I'll not go through the whole list so that we just look at the news that might, catch our attention today. And we start with Tanzania, and Tanzania now has relaxed restrictions on international flights to allow for some categories of flights, including repatriation flights. The Citizen newspaper has reported under the revised measures, repatriation flights will obtain permits within 2 hours instead of the previous 2 weeks. Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority Director General Hamza Johari is quoted as saying that other flights allowed to operate include those involved in distribution of humanitarian aid and medical supplies. And also, we go to Zambia, where the Zambian government has announced the closure of its common border with Tanzania on Saturday as new cases were reported in Nakonde, the border town in question. Doctor, and this is what I think personally I've been asking President Uhuru Kenyatta to do. If Magufuli is not cooperating, close that border. Zambia now has gone ahead and done that, yes.
Yeah, but there is you cannot now force another country to do what you are doing. Everybody fears Magufuli. Everybody fears Tanzanian People's Defense Forces. They have the biggest army in East. They have several layers of the army. The regional army, Air Force, Marines, then there is Jeshi ya Mugambo. So you can't push them around.
Jeshi ya Mugambo is like what? It's not a militant group.
It is Jeshi ya Mugambo. Is militia.
It's a militia group.
Hey, I was trained in Jeshi ya Mugambo. Then he has got another group called FFU. It is called Fanya Fujo Wone. FFU. When they come, they don't want to hear your constitution. They just crush you. And within a few minutes, they have gone back to the barracks. You remember the coup that was in Burundi? They finished it. No African has ever shouted. No Africa. There is no African country that pointed a finger at Magufuli. But that was an act, very serious act. He installed Nkurunziza back to power. So Tanzania nchi yangu hiyo. Wazalendo, lakini wazalendo msikie bwana, mtoe hii mambo ya virusi. Msikilize wenzi yenu, virusi iko kali hapo bwana. That's all we can say. But if you touch him and go there, he can touch you. He's a bad guy.
So since we can't touch him, and we don't want to touch Tanzania like that because we are neighbors and we've had a great relationship, but on COVID-19, the policies of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and indeed the rest of East African countries seems to differ. The rest seems to be working together, but Tanzania, for some reason, has decided we're just going to deal with this matter on our own. So on this one, should just, the presidents of Kenya, Uganda, especially those who share the border, do like what Zambian President Edgar Lungu there has done? Just close the borders between Tanzania and us.
You see, what you need to do is not even closing the border. We should focus most of our resources. I wish people bought cars, mobile cars.
Yes.
And because closing the border, we need to sell the milk, we need to sell. There are so many things. I think that's why there's a benefit of what Kenya benefits from here to there. And what Tanzania benefits. So closing the border could starve the people of North this way up here.
Who depend on that.
And it could cause a lot of problems in the future. So let's just negotiate it. It will come to senses when the market rises beyond. I don't know how many people are they now.
Right now they're at 506, I think, Tanzania.
Yeah. You know, East African people want to compete in numbers. They want to compete in numbers. And if the numbers are high to 700 and the Kenya one is 1,000, then it can change. This, God forbid. That's what I am. We don't anticipate that 1,000. They're competing numbers. Don't you see that the problem is now numbers?
Yes.
Wanaangalia huko Uganda iko na ngapi? Sisi bado tuko mzuri bwana.
Yes.
Hii 500 tutamaliza. Sudan started like that. It has now shot to our South Sudan. Iko na ngapi? Iko na almost
South Sudan is at 120, while Uganda is at 121. And I think by the end of today or so, perhaps they will have had more cases than even Uganda.
So ndio hiyo bwana. Ndio hiyo. Asante sana. What was the... Have I answered the question?
Yes, you have. The border closure there between Zambia and Tanzania.
You can't close it. They will not close it.
But maybe they can restrict human movement, and the trade will go on, of course, with the proper measures put in place. Because even in the Kenya-Uganda border, there are stringent measures because we cannot stop the trade of the region. We depend on it. But the movement of human traffic, that should be contained.
Yes, but unfortunately, how can you saw the police officer allowing people enter from Migori?
Yes.
She's a lady, by the way.
I know, I saw her. I was very ashamed.
She was even being paid money when the cameras were.
And do you know how much money? It's 50 shillings. It's just very little. And then you're putting the whole population at risk. It's very unfortunate. And I hope that the police leadership there in the country will deal with that not very patriotic police officer there who took an oath to protect the country and to help observe law and order. And she's there aiding impunity. That is just so wrong. So, Doctor, we move to Sudan, where the deposed Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir and his associates will soon lose all their properties, including financial assets. The country's Anti-Corruption Empowerment Removal Committee has said Bashir, who was ousted last year through civil unrest, is being forced to return large plots of land and homes in Khartoum, including those owned by relatives. This is after investigators found they were acquired through family ties. Is this too much?
Well, African leaders, all of them, should see what could happen. Eat it while you are still here. But when the tide turns on you, they take everything, even including your trousers. That is all. I don't give me another example of how people should look at what is going to happen. There are so many places in Africa, like that one of Cameroon.
Yes.
People will come to eat that woman with hair. The lady has a lot of hair, you know that.
Chantel Beer, yes.
Yes. So it is a very sad issue. Me, if God gave me powers to rule, I just rule for just 24 hours and go away.
24 hours, you not.
I just want, no, I would like to have the title, former president.
Yes, just former president.
Then go and sit in.
Enjoy your retirement.
You seem to have a caller. Let's see what They want?
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Are you hearing us?
I'm hearing you, Mr. Machanga. I'm really hearing you.
Yes. You want to contribute to the debate?
Yes. I want to contribute for the debate.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Walter from Cameroon.
Yes, I
You
know.
spoke last time.
I know you, sir. I know you.
I always think, no matter how you will take care your citizens in Africa, you can never succeed, because I think the first thing to do in Africa is to stop this issue of border.
Yes.
Let population move around themselves. What you don't have in Kenya, you will find it in Cameroon side. What you don't have in Cameroon, you will find it in Tanzania side.
Yes.
And we use politics East Africa countries have. The politics East Africa country has. If we can use that politics and employ that politics in Africa and stop this issue of border, that is where we can really take care of our citizens. Imagine you will break all the border for Kenya, for example. People still from Congo, even animals will still move from Congo and inside in Kenya bush with the same sickness. But if we unite, we know that in Congo they have gold. They can use money for gold from Congo to invest one house, and take the Kenya don't have, and Kenya has invest on Congo. We make those mutations. Population who knows how to work very well will go to that side. People are lazy and they will develop the area. Those who are lazy will go and work for others who are hardworking.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your contribution.
And thank you also to talk about Cameroon issue today. I'm very happy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Hold a beer. Must get out.
Imagine try to give money to the government because they have political problems. This kind of that is craziness.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, that is our viewer there. Yes, our viewer from Cameroon, and I think we spoke with him last week, and he's really tired of President Paul Biya, and he said he comes from the French-speaking part of Cameroon, so even them over there, not just the Anglophones, they're tired of Biya.
Everybody, all of us, even us in Uganda, here where we are in the punchline, we are tired of Mr. Paul Biya. When is he going? God knows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Miriam. Yes.
All right. So there has been some disturbing reports coming from South Sudan there, where reports from South Sudan now say that around 250 refugees have arrived from the Democratic Republic of Congo in recent days after fleeing attacks by the Lord's Resistance Army, a rebel force originally from Uganda. The border between South Sudan and DRC Congo is officially closed due to the coronavirus. So it appears that a Lord Resistance Army, Doctor, is trying to, bring other chaos in the DRC. What could be the problem there? You have a better background understanding on this matter.
I don't want to discuss that matter, but if I thought people said they had finished this thing.
Well, I think
because ours was the mandate of northern Uganda, and we brought the peace.
Mm-hmm. That was
if they are fighting in northern Uganda, then we can reconvene. Mm-hmm. But if they are outside Uganda, let the international laws work on them. Mm-hmm. The Ugandan People's Defense Forces have access in Congo. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they withdrew from Congo and left. They should have wiped out this whole group that did not listen to the peace agreement. Mm-hmm. So they brought it onto themselves. They should have finished that group that did not agree with the agreement. So South Sudan is just a new territory. Mm-hmm. It is only getting its peace together. Mm-hmm. If you tell me there is fighting again, I will be very scared.
They are the ones who are now hosting refugees from the DRC, because this war seems to be happening in the borders of DRC there. So South Sudan, they're just running.
Yes, at Garamba, at Garamba Park and in Rikwamba. Mm-hmm. Rikwamba is at the border with South Sudan. So once you walk about 40 miles east, you bump into the river, and then you climb the hill, then you are in Congo. Mm-hmm. Remember, I've been a sufferer there. Mm-hmm. I know how things work in that place. When I was looking for peace, we walked with Chisano and the others on foot until we said, what is this? But we got the peace for our country. That is the most important thing. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And still staying with South Sudan there, the SPLM Political Bureau is urging the parties opposed to the new allocation of states to support the resolution of the presidency to end the current dreadlock. The call was convened yesterday after a meeting of the ruling party's leadership. The meeting was attended by President Salva Kiir, Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng, Vice Presidents, and also Rebecca Nyandeng, James Wani Iga, and Taban Deng. Now, earlier last week, the Minister in the Office of the President released a statement revealing the presidency had agreed to allocate 6 states to the SPLM, 3 to the SPLM-IO, and 1 state to the opposition alliance. No state was apportioned to the other political parties. However, Dr. Machar and other leaders of the opposition groups counter-issued statements rejecting the decision, saying it was a unilateral move by President Kiir. Doctor, this matter of state, we thought it was solved, but it appears there is something still under contention there in South Sudan.
They can now, look, they can haggle, but we have done the best part. Mm-hmm. Let them solve that, which is not very contentious. Mm-hmm. After all, they are dividing amongst themselves inside. Mm-hmm. They are not dividing with another friend country.
All right. So
that's it.
They can sort that out. But do you think that will derail the implementation of other things that are also very important in the country if they keep dwelling on this matter of states?
And another war, you can see now some rebels coming from the Congo.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Very well.
Mm-hmm. At times in Africa, I laugh. One problem after the other, another one comes. That is what life is.
Yes.
Let's finish up and I just go and put my head down.
It gets abreast. All right. Now, the People's Democratic Republic Party, that is in Nigeria, said the manifest incompetence of the regime of President Buhari, as well as his failure to lead from the front, are responsible for Nigeria's failure to check the spread of the COVID-19. The PDP raised the alarm, allowing the increase in infection and mortality rates in Nigeria. So the People's Democratic Party, that is the opposition party there in Nigeria, they're saying President Buhari is very incompetent, and due to his incompetence, that is why Nigeria has now very high numbers when it comes to COVID-19. Does PDP has a point in this?
They have. You know, 100% there is no Nigeria. Nigeria is just a fragmented nation. It's full of fragments. The guy is killing Biafrans. Biafrans are helpless. They have nothing to do. The soldiers stand on them to kill them. So he has let him finish his term and go home. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
We have talked too much. That what is it that Africa does not listen? Let Buhari go home. He has let down the Nigerians. Mm-hmm. Let him go home.
Mm-hmm. And
he came.
Yes.
He came to finish his war war hangover to finish the remaining Biafrans. So he has killed many. He can now go home and rest with the ghost hanging over his head.
The ghost busters might bust those ghosts.
No. That one is too hard to bust. Time will bust him.
All right, very, very true. Time always catches up. And we move to Chad, where Chad sent a plane to collect the COVID organic donations that President Idris of Chad sent a plane to collect the COVID organic donations from Madagascar. And President of Madagascar is very happy, and because he feels that Idris Deby has shown confidence in Africa in unity and the herbal remedy. So Chad will start getting better very soon.
Okay. Let's wait. Another medicine has been found there.
In?
Chad.
Oh, in Chad. Okay. But they're ordering for the COVID organic.
Delivered there, not found, delivered there. This thing is yummy. Bring it. Miriam, I found the equivalent of that thing.
There goes your yummy. Yummy.
Yes. If you follow what they do it from, this thing is here in Kenya, especially in the areas of Mount Elgon.
The western part of the country.
The fruit, the roots and the leaves, the flower, they are here. They are sour.
So we need the people,
very sour.
The people who studied plants to help us understand.
That plant, yes, it is there.
The people who studied plants, they should help us understand this plant so that we can use it.
The person who studied the plants is busy doing politics. What is it? Don't bring this thing to me. Then we go that route. Leave it, Mama. Let's leave it.
But if it is here, we might as well, bring some competition.
The deputy president studied the plants.
Okay.
Ecology. He should know this plant that saves lives. He should join the Mutahi Kagwe team, bring and the Kemri, and tell them flower number, this plant number X with small leaves. If you take them and put them shaga kwa bottle and swallow with water, it will be over. But he's busy fighting for Senate. What? Where? Now news just come in on Standard News.
What is happening? What is the breaking news?
Mr. Samuel Pogisho endorsed as the Senate leader to be deputized by Honorable Fatuma Dulo following Jubilee's Senate PG meeting at the State House. Goodbye. It is there. Now it is Wakaring Moto. You never underrate the president. And I told the people, they thought I was a madman. You can't underrate the head of state. It's the symbol that they gave him the thing. You don't have it, then you go on harassing him.
He has the sword of the commander-in-chief, yes.
Have you seen the Standard? This is the Standard medium.
It's breaking news, yes. And it's trending right now in Kenya.
There was no half sword. No half sword. That where chukua it, come I'm not here, you use this half. No. There is only one sword. And that sword was given to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So when he decides to cut you, he cuts you. The party leader has powers to call. The party leader has powers to call. Meona, you can't go there like this or something anasema Raila has no power. Raila has powers. Is his party. He's the party leader. And you go to serve there with the interest of the party. You don't serve the interest of any other things. And Pogisho is balanced mind-wise. Mind is a very, very humble man. Yeah.
I remember him when he was the CS for communication, I think, and he brought a lot of changes there. Yeah.
Very good guy. So there you are. You're imeisha. Sasa, the Sandwali must be panicking.
So now we just wait for the headlines tomorrow. I can imagine how they will look like tomorrow on the papers there.
Yeah. No, the only person they have removed, deflated this pressure is Senator. No comment. Hey. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you. What is that song? Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. Thank you.
What do you mean? President Uhuru Kenyatta is now spinning the country. That's what DJs do. That is for Rajuline there, Andre, in Madagascar.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Is now using power, asserting power, authority.
And you talked about it in the morning. Was he watching us before he went to this meeting or what?
Yes, and I wrote it at 5 a.m. Said usicheze na president, unamutukana kila siku, kazi kwisha. Wengoja wakuje pande hii. Wanakuja pole, wewe kama uko na kitu, just give in. If I were some people, I would just give in now. Fighting this is going to be a big war. This 2 years is too far. Miriam, do you think the people who wrote the book, The Prince, were mad people?
No.
They told you, when Sicily is burning, forget about Rome. You'll reach there, then you know what the problem of Rome is. But here we have COVID-19. We have so many things, unemployment. Help the president to solve the unemployment equation in Kenya. Then spread your wings, go and conquer other empires. But now here, well, they can fight it. It's up to them. But once you are taken out of power, you are useless. In Africa, that is what I've seen. Very soon, Mr. Murkomen will be forgotten. Nobody will want to know, to associate himself with him. You know, even especially ladies like where money is. Yes. I would have come hakuna ebesha. They will not talk to you. Finished. You die with your wife. So then you go back to for mommy, I'm sorry. So it's better to stick there. When you used to send a car to bring on the shopping, then you are reduced to a bicycle to deliver shopping. Human nature has class. Have you asked why we dress up? Like today, you have really dressed to kill. I didn't say that is very good dress today, Miriam.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
You have dressed up. That's what Punchline wants. That's why I was embarrassed. I went back.
But not to
my
kill,
old...
Doctor. Just to be decent, not to kill.
No, I had to bring this coat.
And you look very lovely yourself.
Yeah, so that when you talk about diplomats, they might think this is a street vendor. That must be Stephen laughing. Stephen, where are you? Have we finished?
Yes, we're about to finish. We're about to say goodbye to our viewers.
Hey. Oh no, we are talking on the machine anyway.
All right, we are through with the African news. We shall see our viewers
Thank
tomorrow.
you very much, Miriam, for this morning. And let's do another show, Kenya Today. Now we have very good news.
Yes.
You can call in from home.
Yes, I'll do that. I'll be part of the show. Yes.
I think let's stick to us leading it than so many people coming in at night, because the communication, until we install it properly, such that we have a bigger screen, then we can be calling in people, and so that we can. It always, when you call, there's a time I had a show with you. This lady from London, she doesn't want to leave the microphone at all. So thank you very much for the show this morning.
Yes.
Thank you. We have done our 4 good hours.
We have.
That is the best, and we have come out with good results. There are changes in the Senate.
Yes.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa. God bless the rest of us. Thank you, and have a good evening, good afternoon with your family. And the rest of you in the studio, the production team, thank you. All of you working from other remote areas, all my staff, thank you very much. Keep it going. Thank you for rectifying my software for tonight, because it went out. Thank you, all of you. Stephen, everybody, all the people. Thanks. This is Punchline Africa, the only station that minds about Africa, with Africa by Africa. Thank you, Miriam.
All right.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.